so many responses on my last video of people telling me that they just completely disregarded the grain line when they cut out their material. So I'm glad we talked about that last time so that you don't have to disregard your grain line. I think the thing that you need to be most careful about if you're ignoring your grain line is making sure that you're not cutting things out on the bias. So that's what we're here to talk about today in Textile Basics. I'm wearing a bias cut dress today to show you the application where you would want to cut on the bias, but it is quite tricky to do so, especially as a beginner. The 45-degree angle is great because it has a lot of stretch, but the issue with that, and an issue that you probably noticed before if you bought something fast fashion, is that sometimes when things are cut on the 45-degree, it can start to twist around your body. So if you've ever had a sleeve or a pair of pants that always twist when you're wearing it, it was accidentally cut on the bias, which is why you want to be very careful that you're cutting out on grain. If you are going ahead and making something bias cut, there's a few things that you need to know in order to make it a lot easier. When cutting on the bias, I would always make sure to cut one layer at a time to ensure that nothing's going to get shifted underneath. I would also probably lay down some tissue paper if I'm working with a shiftier material, so I have something to pin to so it can't shift as much. And I would take my time with pattern layout. Because cutting on the bias is pretty wasteful in terms of fabric, I would make sure that I laid things out in the most efficient way possible to conserve on materials. When I go to sew something together on the bias, I want to be very careful to make sure that things aren't stretching as I'm feeding it through the sewing machine, as that can cause some rippling. Next time in Textile Basics, we're going to be visiting different types of wovens and the application for them. If you're interested in sewing tutorials that are actually going to teach you how to sew, we have our sling tote bag as well as our hoodie pattern all available online.